Japan learned from the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki that the tragedy wrought by nuclear weapons must never be repeated, and that humanity and nuclear weapons cannot coexist. Daisaku Ikeda. What's up, people of this weird planet called Earth? Yo koso to episode 43 of HMIH podcast with yours truly, Damilare Mapa. Yo koso is actually Japanese for welcome, by the way, so you can listen to that again. Today's episode is actually going to be brief but thought-provoking, as it will make you understand why I started with that quote. So let's get straight into it. Today we'll be learning about the life of a very influential physicist and mathematician. His name is Enrico Fermi. Born on the 29th September 1901 in Rome, Italy, he was the third child of Alberto Fermi, a division head in the Ministry of Railway in Italy at the time, and Ida De Gatis, an elementary school teacher who greatly impacted in the foundational knowledge of her children. And this was critical in shaping the test for knowledge of a child, Enrico. Enrico's parents, especially his mom, made sure they went to the best school they could afford. And at a very young age, Enrico and his brother, Giulio, were found building electric motors during their spare time. Unfortunately, Giulio died at a very young age of just 15 in the year 1915 during an operation on his throat. This really affected Enrico and made him more reserved than he formerly was. This continued until he got his hands on a physics book, the 900-page Elementorium Physique Mathematique. I'm definitely sure I pronounced that wrongly, but this book was written in Latin by Jesuit Father Andrea Carafa, and this was the beginning of Enrico's journey in being a great physicist and mathematician. In 1914, Fermi met a colleague of his father who was interested in mathematics and physics, named Adolfo Amede, who realized how smart the young boy was and started providing him with various books which Enrico studied religiously. By 1918, after graduating from high school, Fermi received a scholarship from the University of Pisa. He excelled exceptionally as he got his doctor's degree in physics in just 4 years. From 1924 to 1926, he worked as a lecturer of physics and maths at the University of Florence in Italy. In 1927, he landed a position as a professor at the Sapienza University of Rome, and he published Introduction to Atomic Physics, among other numerous books that he wrote throughout his lifetime. And he also got married to Laura Capone in the same year, who gave birth to 2 children for him. In 1938, at age 37, Fermi received the Nobel Prize in Physics for, and I quote, his demonstration of the existence of new radioactive elements produced by neutron irradiation for his related discovery of nuclear reactions brought about by slow neutrons. Well, that was very complicated, but that was what he won the Nobel Prize for. Enrico used the prize money to relocate to New York City in USA with his family due to racial laws in Italy that affected his Jewish wife at the time. On reaching USA, he was offered positions at 5 different universities, but he accepted that of Columbia University. Here, he eventually discovered that uranium neutrons admitted into fissioning uranium could split uranium atoms, setting off a chain reaction which releases an enormous amount of energy. Yeah, another very complicated phrase, but this was what the US quickly put into work in the atom bomb or the atomic bomb. Thus, we could also say that Enrico Fermi is the father of the atomic bomb to some people. Fermi was one of the principal leaders in the Manhattan Project that codenamed the development of the atom bomb, which was an instrumental part of World War II and its final end, when it was used twice on Japan by the US because they refused to surrender and finally end World War II. The atomic bomb, which was used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, did finally end the war, but killed between 129,000 and 226,000 directly, and a whole lot of people indirectly, which made the use of the bomb quite morally debatable. In 1944, Fermi was appointed a professor at the Institute of nuclear studies at the University of Chicago, where he was a founder of what would later become the Enrico Fermi Institute, which was named after him. Fermi received numerous awards through his lifetime, like the Hughes Medal in 1942, the Franklin Medal in 1947, and numerous other awards for his outstanding contributions to physics and mathematics alike. He became ill with stomach cancer in 1954 and later died on the 28th of November 1954 in Chicago at age 53, as every other person will later die. Ignorance is never better than knowledge. Enrico Fermi. Well, that's it on the 43rd episode of HMIH podcast with yours truly, Damilare Mopa. Kindly follow us on our social media pages and drop a feedback if you learnt something new and like this episode. See you all in May. By God's grace. Damilare Mopa out.